like you said, I had to receive a lot of criticism from people around me because they thought that, I was scared of it. But I wasn't. I was good in science. It was not that I was bad in science, but physics was my weak point. So I realized that, and I actually enjoyed commerce when I took it up. So we had, in our school, we have this thing. So if you're not okay with your stream, you can change it 3 months after studying it for 3 months. And my principal, I remember, she actually called me to her office and she asked me back then, Didrika, are you sure you... Right now, I think the problem with our education system is it's not something... We cannot afford to waste a lot of time.
Absolutely.
It's fast-paced.
The competition is so
yes, it's
fast.
immense. Pre-boards is much more important as for admission into some other
Absolutely,
universities.
I agree, yeah.
Or, for, like, as you said, for class 11th, I think the pre-board examination scores are much more handy and much more important than the actual board examination scores are. So it's a very good preparation for pre-boards, I'd say.
If you are not able to score that well in your mock test and you're like so close to pre-boards, like you said, your teachers are able to assess you the right way. How are they exactly assessing you? Welcome to another new episode of Student Voice Matters. This is your host Sonalika Goswami. Today's episode concerns all the 12th grade students, or in fact the 10th grade students, who are about or who are on their way to prepare for boards. So if you're feeling the heat of the board exams around your corner, don't worry about it. You're not the only one. Today we have with us our guest, Didrika Haldar, who's a 12th grade student of Auxilium Convent School, Dum, and she's here to tell us all of it, like how she prepares for it while also keeping a study-life balance, and how also she takes care of her mental and emotional well-being amidst this pressure of board exams. Thank you, Didrika, for coming today. And so, Didrika, how are you feeling? Is the exam heat catching up to you?
Yes, very much so. It's very intense. We got the pre-board routine just a few days back. We got the board routine released a few days back. And right now it's all studies and then balancing other stuff, family life and social life, because it's also the holiday season. So there are a lot of events that are coming up. So balancing studies alongside that, it's a very difficult job. And yeah, it's getting very intense.
Now you say about time. This is December. This is the time when all the festivities, and it feels Christmas around.
It feels Christmas.
But let's face it. The moment your winter vacations are over, it's the pre-boards time. That's how usually it is with schools.
Yes.
So how are you mentally preparing yourself to enjoy as well as not enjoy a bit too much so that you can be geared up for your exams?
Okay, so, during this time, people also go for vacations, and also this year that I'm not doing that. I'm sitting with my books. It's a lot of studies, but also in between that, I'm catching on web series and movies and I'm watching. So yes, I'm trying to just relieve myself of the pressure of that. But right now, it's very intense with academics and everything. And yes, I'm just trying to balance everything out.
So you have already given board once in your 10th, right?
Yes.
Does it make the intensity of the fact that board is coming, does it light it out a bit, or is
it does? It certainly does. I mean, when I was in class 10, 2022, and I remember around this time I was so intense, and everything was so intense. So first of all, your family doesn't really know, so they are also very scared. So it's your first boards. So I remember my mom telling me the entire day to study, and I remember I was also very scared back in class 10. But it does ease things out a lot, And right now I know that I will eventually catch up to it, like pre-boards.
Right.
So I'm taking one step at a time.
It's not a mystery box for you
No, it's not a
anymore.
mystery box. And honestly, I would like to tell this to everyone, and I felt this all throughout my academic life. Boards are way easier than school examinations are. So something that I followed back in class 10, I'm still following it now, and I will advise my juniors as well as my peers to follow it. I think you should give yourself some break as well, because it really enhances your concentration power if you give yourself frequent breaks and just give some time to yourself to chill a bit as well.
How do you use your breaks?
Okay, so I have very limited screen time. I don't use my phone a lot, but if I get around 2 hours in between my study sessions, I just catch an episode of some series on Netflix or maybe just
Right.
watch a movie, and I break the movie into parts so that I do not waste a lot of time on that. And it usually takes me 2 to 3 days to break it into parts and watch it. So it really relieves my mind a lot.
But then, can you control? Do you, if the movie is like really interesting, do you feel like stopping, or even if you have stopped because you have to? Do you
Yes.
keep thinking about it? Is it distractive? A
Yes,
little bit?
it is. But something that I do when I watch movies is so after I finish that time, after my break is over, I usually study, and I'm a commerce student, so I study practical subjects like accounts or mathematics. So it really helps you divert your attention.
Brings your mind through.
Yes, it enhances your focus. So if I'm doing that, and then I proceed to a more theory subject like economics and commerce, so then I set my study routine in such a way so I have enough time to balance my focus and everything.
You have topped the school in 10th grade.
Yeah.
Does it add a pressure for your 12th post?
Immensely, and I also know that my peers who have also topped with me back in class 10, they feel the same thing. The pressure comes more from the school and your friends in school rather than it coming from elsewhere, and it also keeps on replaying in the back of your mind. So you've done well in class 10.
Very good in class 10.
Yes, and if you don't do it in class 12, what will people say? What will your parents say? You know, you're answerable to a lot of people. But something that I think has helped me balance this pressure, my parents, I mean, they were immensely supportive throughout this entire year, and they've kept on telling me that it's fine, I know you'll do it, and you know you will be able to catch up and everything. But it does add an immense pressure. I mean, you're answerable to your school for
Right.
starters. I mean,
They expect a lot from
they
you now.
expect a lot, and also since have a lot of talent, and as if you're just active in school, you have to do a lot of other things as well. There are so many activities in school that you just cannot say no to.
And you must not say no to.
Absolutely, because I really feel this. So 5 years down the lane, people won't remember how much you scored in boards, but people will remember how well you did in this one activity of your school, and it really adds to your resume for your work. And you know, if you're applying to colleges abroad, it really adds a lot of weightage to your
Absolutely, yeah.
resume, and I think it's important to do it because the exposure that you gain from all these activities, I don't think you can find it elsewhere.
Right. So you mentioned you took up commerce.
Yes.
But you know, in our country, we have this notion that, okay, she's a topper, she's obviously going for science. What made you choose otherwise? And how was the reaction at home or around you about your decision?
Okay, so everybody has a weak point. So in class 10, I realized that my weak point was physics. And I knew that if I wasn't able to do it in class 10, I wouldn't be able to do it in class 12.
Not at all, yeah.
Yes, and honestly, it made no sense struggling with struggling for 2 years
Right.
with a subject and then eventually giving it up because you cannot pursue it. It made no sense. So, and my parents are both from the commerce stream. My father is a chartered accountant. So when I told my father that, you know, I really want to do commerce
He was happy.
and eventually, you know, do CA, he was very elated.
Yeah.
And he
Oh,
told me,
okay.
he was very happy.
Yeah, okay, my daughter is coming to.
She's doing what I did all this while,
Yeah.
and so things at home it was very nice, but like you said, I had to receive a lot of criticism from people around me because they thought that, you know, I was scared of it, but I wasn't. I was good in science. It was not that I was bad in science, but physics was my weak point. So I realized that, and I actually enjoyed commerce when I took it up. So we had in our school, we have this thing. So if you're not okay with your stream, you can change it 3 months after studying it for 3 months. And my principal, I remember, she actually called me to her office and she asked me back then, Didrika, are you sure you want to continue commerce? I was like, yes, I am sure. I want to do this. I really like it.
So you got this flexible option that I think also eased your mind that, okay, if
Yes,
commerce doesn't work
absolutely.
out, I have other options.
Absolutely, and I
Yeah.
think a lot of schools offer that now. I remember back when you were a student, I don't think this option was there.
I haven't done my 11th and 12th from the same school, so I won't be able to.
Yes,
tell.
but like when you were in class 11 and 12.
I mean, I wasn't personally asked, but I'm sure that the courses were pretty flexible.
Yes, the courses
yeah.
are flexible and it adds a lot of ease to your mind as well. And especially if I think everybody who really wants to take another stream and they are being forced by their parents or society to take up science because, as you said, in our country it's a stigma.
Right.
So I think they should really talk with their parents about this and tell that, okay, so I'm doing this course. If I don't like it 3 months later, can I change it to that? Because right now, I think the problem with our education system is it's not we cannot afford to waste a lot of time.
Absolutely.
It's fast paced.
The competition is so
Yes, it's
fast.
immense. So I think instead of wasting 2 years of your school life, which is very crucial, 11 and 12 are very crucial years. So instead of wasting it, I think it's very important to choose the right stream for yourself. And once you do that, once you choose a stream that you really like and that one that works out for you, balancing things makes it very easier.
Right. So, talking about balancing, these few months, again, endless hours of studying,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Takes a lot, like you're wrapping it all up. How do you take care of your mental well-being and of your physical well-being? Because a lot of students we hear that, is going through fatigue. They are so much under stress that they give up eating, they don't have good night's sleep, So how are you managing all of those? Are you taking care of all of those?
Yes, I actually am. So, right before this year started, I was having a lot of eating disorders in class 11 and I gained a lot of weight in 2 months and I made it a point to lose weight this year and I had this resolution. So, I joined a gym and I was balancing my gym and my studies, all of it. But after some time, it became difficult because we all have tuitions and all. And also school.
So you're mentally exhausted by the time you're free.
So I did not even have the time to come and study my own studies because I was so exhausted at the gym and it was not possible for me to continue it. So what I did was I left the gym, but then I made it a point to exercise for half an hour every single day.
Right.
I followed a good diet. I gave up fast food. And I did lose a lot of weight this year. And so right now I'm doing that as well. So I think one thing that has helped me cope up is have a good sleep schedule. It took me a long time to have that. I mean, I remember ever since lockdown started till class 10, I only
messed up your sleep
yes,
schedule.
I only
think it did to everybody. Yeah.
And I remember during my class 10 boards, I only slept for 4-5 hours in a day and it was not healthy.
No, absolutely.
So after my boards ended, I was so tired that I remember I just slept for 2 days because
you did nothing else.
I just slept for 2 days because I was so exhausted. My mind was exhausted.
But then it's not healthy, because even if during the exams you stop eating and sleeping, your mind will stop taking in any more information.
Absolutely. Yeah. And one thing that I really faced it in class 12, so 10 and 12 were a bit different because, in 12 the pressure is a lot more than it is in class 10. The subjects become more difficult.
Right, become more specialized and more detailed.
Yes, absolutely. So one thing I realized, it was during my half-yearly exams. So there was, commerce is a theory subject that we have. So I studied a lot for commerce. And I did not sleep the night before because just before half yearly began, so we had this fests and everything, so we were all pretty exhausted from it, so we did not get time to study. So I remember we had 2 days gap before our commerce exam. I studied a lot, but when I went to the exam hall, I couldn't remember a thing.
Oh my god, that's the most dreadful feeling of a student.
Exactly, and that scared me so much, so I made it a point. I did not do very bad, but it was not.
I mean, you managed to get through.
Yeah, I just managed to get through it.
Oh god, the feeling.
It's the most dreadful. I don't think I've ever been that scared in my because I just went blank.
Then your mind just gave up at that point.
It gave up because my mind was exhausted, my body was exhausted. I knew I just wanted to go home and sleep. I just sleep through this. I came and told my parents, of course, that this is what went, and they told me that I am setting a rule for you. You will go to sleep by 11:30 when your exams are going on. And I did follow it. Right, recently we had this exam at school and I did follow it, and I think I'm doing much better that way. So people talk about 8 hours of sleep, and that's really not possible. 8 hours of sleep with the schedule that we have, it's not possible. But I think at least 6 hours of sleep is absolutely necessary, and everybody, especially during your exams, it's very important. So workout and having a good sleep schedule keeps my physical health in a good position right now.
So you said you have given up eating fast food.
Yes.
How much is that helping you with your energy?
A lot. You have no idea how much. So I really love North Indian food, and
butter chicken.
Yes, butter chicken
butter
and
naan.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. It's my comfort food actually.
Okay.
So I told my father one day, I woke up on a fine Sunday morning and I told I want to give up fast food, and he was very shocked because he loves fast food as well.
By fast food, you mean not just fast food, also like rich buttery
Yes,
food included? Okay,
absolutely.
okay.
No, it's not like that. So I like cooking as well. So I tell my mother, and I find these new recipes online, and I tell my mother to cook them for me. And it's just homemade. I've shifted to homemade food.
Okay.
And yes, I've given up all kinds of junk food.
How hard was that?
I think it was harder for my father because he loves it as well.
So
and
by you when the kid gives up, the parents
the
also
parents
have
also have to give. My mother was very happy, and she thought that I finally had some kind
You had
of
a resolution.
yes, I had a
Yeah.
resolution, and she was very happy. But my father was very upset. He eventually caught up with it, and now we just have fast food. I think once or twice a month, and it's really helped me gain energy, and it just makes your skin glow brighter, which is also an added.
Which you are glowing.
Thank you.
So, these are the times when you are also appearing for a lot of mock exams and, pre-boards before boards. So, I want to hear solely your perspective that these mock exams, pre-board exams that you give before your board, does it help you prepare better, or do you think that it's probably rushing you towards a certain notion and taking up a lot of time that you could have given solely preparing for boards?
Okay, so I have a lot of insight on this. So when I was in class 10, I did go to this particular coaching center to give the mock exams. And one thing that these mock exams helped me was to manage time, which in school is not possible because the first complete syllabus exam that we have in school is the pre-boards. And by the time the pre-boards are over, it is already too
Time
late.
for boards.
It's already, we hardly get a month from between pre-boards and boards. So I did that. I gave these exams, but I was also very physically exhausted by the time I came back home. So it was going to school, coming back home, going to these exam centers, giving these exams, coming back. And when you're that exhausted, when you come back at 9:30, 10, you do not have the energy to again sit with your books and study. So and it takes up a lot of your time because you're also having to travel there, and it takes up a time for conveyance and everything. So this year I asked my tuition teachers and I told them that will it be feasible going to these centers for giving tests and all. So they told me that no, it's not really as helpful anymore, because one thing that I've noticed about these exam centers is you can give your tests there, but the assessment is not done very well. That is because you don't get the guidance that you get from school there, because in your school, the people who are correcting your papers are your teachers, and they are the ones who are going to these councils to correct their papers as well. So you get the very personal and very apt guidance from them, but you do not get that in the exam centers. So I did not go for any mock exams this year.
But do you think these mock exams are held so that maybe you can prepare in a timely manner? Like, before you're preparing for your exams, you also go through the books, So probably it just sort of, makes you a tad bit prepared for the boards.
It does. It pushes you to study more. And one thing that it does is it pushes you to study in a very systematic manner. So you do smart work then and not hard work. Because you do not do rote learning. When you give more and more exams, you're accustomed with the question paper patterns. So you know what type of questions are going to come and how you should answer it. That is there. But I think one thing we as individuals, like this year I'm doing it and I'm preparing, I am setting time for myself. So I'm taking 3 hours, which is the duration of our papers, and I'm taking a sample paper from the sample paper books that are available, and I'm sitting for 3 hours and I'm doing the paper, and then I'm going to my teachers to get them corrected. So that way also the guidance is there.
It's coming, right.
Yes, and the assessment is also done pretty well.
So currently there's this thing which we never had in our time, is that a mock test in school before pre-boards.
Yes.
So for us, pre-board was the mock test. Now you have a mock test for pre-boards.
Yes.
How is that helpful?
That is helpful because the mock tests before pre-board, pre-board starts just after your half yearly ends. So you do not get a lot of time for preparation for that. But one thing, like for our school, we had this mock test, and the syllabus was basically the topics that were not included in half yearly. yearly. So it really helped us because for half yearly we were preparing for the topics and then we prepared for the other topics. So I think by now our syllabus is done. So
So you're preparing it all together.
all together.
Yeah.
So one revision of the entire syllabus is complete. So right now when we are preparing for the pre-boards is going to become much more easier and we are getting a lot of time. And honestly, the one thing that these tests have done is it really prepares you for the pre-boards. It sets your mind that way that okay, my exams are
I think
coming.
a lot of the schools in the 11th grade, they especially for the students who wish to change school after 10, your entire admission, I mean, a lot of them wait till May, but then classes mostly get started around March, April, 11th
Yes.
class, around April.
Yes, it starts
So a
around
lot of the students' admission into their 11th, into their school, depends on the result they get in pre-boards. So I think actually for a lot of the people, especially for me, because I changed school after 10th, my 10th pre-board examination results actually came much more handy than
Yes.
the 10th board exam, which were released declared much
Absolutely.
later. So that is why personally I feel like it's good to have a preparation for pre-boards.
Absolutely so. And I think even for class 12, the people who are applying for universities abroad, they have this, you have to give a mock result, like a mock board
Okay.
sheet. You have to give a
Okay.
mock sheet for your boards. So the teachers, they give you that score based on how well you fare in your pre-boards.
Okay.
So for me, I think pre-boards is much more important as for admission into some other
Absolutely, I
universities,
agree, yeah.
or for like as you said for class 11th, I think the pre-board examination scores are much more handy and
Correct.
much more important than the actual board examination scores are. So it's a very good preparation for pre-boards, I'd say.
And so now that how a lot of the students, you might not be one of them, but there are a lot of students who feel very confused at the last moment. They don't know how to balance it all. How do you think the teacher comes into play then? Like if you are not able to score that well in your mock test and you're like so close to pre-boards, like you said, your teachers are able to assess you the right way. How are they exactly assessing you?
Okay, so for me, and I think I had this problem when I was in class 10. So I did not score well in my physics pre-board because, like I said, physics was my weak point. So I always use that example. So what my teacher suggested me was to not focus on the entire syllabus, but to focus on bits and parts of it. Parts that carry the maximum weightage. So if you feel confused and if somebody is struggling to cope up with the entire syllabus, what I think they should do or they can do is they can just study the chapters that carry the maximum weightage. That way they will be able to secure a standard marks. May not be the full mark or something like that, but a standard marks. So that way I don't think the entire percentage as a whole will drop because of that.
Right.
So the teacher can help you assist in the chapters that you should focus on. I remember my school teachers, they have helped me and not just me, everybody in my class, to actually focus on the parts that are the most important or
Right.
that carry the maximum weightage.
So, like you said, you're involved in all these fests and everything, right? How, like, when you were starting class 12, I'm pretty sure everybody told you, oh, it's 12, then, be prepared. Like, don't look anywhere else. But when you did eventually involve in fests and, all these extracurricular activities, how did you sort of sort, because classes are also important, so how did you sort your balance between attending classes and because you also had to save energy for
Yes.
studying, so how did you balance out your energy in between fests and studies?
I think my school really helped me a lot during this period because I come from a convent school, right? So all of the convent schools, they have this fest. So, and you're required to participate in that. I think it's like the entire school is preparing for
Yeah.
it. So either your school hosts a fest or you're participating
In another
somewhere.
fest, yeah.
So when the fest season is going on, which is basically June and July, so these 2 months, you do not have classes at school. You just don't.
You have all
Yeah,
these
you have
zero period activities.
Yes, the zero period activities, and the
Yeah.
entire day is the zero period. So you're going to school to have
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
So what my school helped me in doing was every prep that we did in school, it was done in school itself. So we've either had to stay behind for an hour to complete the fest activities and everything, but nothing was left over to come and do at home.
Okay.
So we finished everything in school. So that when I came back home, I took an hour's rest.
Right.
And then
you had the
I
energy to study, self-study.
So that was how I balanced. But
Okay.
then it does really affect your study
I mean,
schedule.
what I want to say is too much involvement is probably
No,
not
it's
good.
not good. It's not good because it distracts you a lot, and you cannot really bring your attention back. And
Yeah,
you know,
because fest and all is exciting. It
yes,
just
and
you keep
it
thinking
is.
about the glamour part.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is a lot of glamour, and you're going to a different school, and you're probably meeting your friends from other schools.
Right, and a chance of meeting so many new people.
Yes, so
new
many
students.
yes, and so it's exciting, and we are all humans, and we are just
Right,
teenagers. It's
right.
impossible for us to just control our focus.
Absolutely.
We can't do it on the click of a button. So I think it really does affect you, but too much involvement, as you said, is not good. I think, 2 months you can give for that, but then eventually I think slowly you have to come back and start preparing for your academics as well.
When you say start preparing for your academics, there's this thing we had in our time that we would rely a lot on the last year's question paper, or in case of board, last 10 years or 5 years question paper. Now we see the module changing very frequently.
Yes.
New modules are being updated almost every alternate year or so. Right? So in this case, if it's a new module for you, for your questionnaire, what is the feeling then? Like, do you get to rely on the last year's question
We
paper?
do not, absolutely.
Then in
not,
that case, how do
because-
you figure it out?
You go with the flow, and it sounds like a very vague statement, but you do it because this year I think our batch is the first ISC batch to give a completely new English exam. Like the syllabus is
Module.
completely new, and I think it has changed in for the first time in 10-12 years, and so you have no reference. Absolutely, and the question paper pattern is changing. It's becoming a lot more application based rather than
Right.
theory based.
Yeah.
So
What do you have to say about that?
I think it prepares you, it keeps you at par with the rest of the world because other countries
They are very application based.
Yes, they are very
correct.
application based. I mean, if you've noticed exams like SATs and IELTS, they have the MCQ pattern. So that is being
IELTS is probably a language exam, but
yes, but
SATs,
SAT,
yeah.
yes, SAT does have MCQs, and these are important examinations, and you need to get good scores on these in these examinations if you're preparing for universities abroad.
Correct.
So I think the new pattern, it keeps you more updated, and it's not a completely new thing that you have to study when you start preparing for these tests. So it does help you, but as I said, it's vague. Because even the teachers are confused and they don't have a
Right, even
reference
it's
pattern.
their first-hand
Yes, it's their
experience.
first time. So
Correct.
it's your first time. But I think the council is also pretty student friendly, and they do set the paper in a pattern which
Like
is
they understand it's the first time
yes,
for students.
yes.
Yeah.
One thing that really helps is the specimen papers that the council releases. So the specimen papers are very helpful, and the main question paper actually follows the pattern of the specimen paper.
okay.
So if you're preparing the specimen paper well, then you have it. And all these sample paper books that you have, they also follow the same kind of questions.
Okay.
So right now, for our batch and for our juniors, the one thing that helps is more than the last 10 years paper are the sample papers.
Right.
So the 10 sample papers or the 15 sample papers are really helpful.
I would like to focus a little bit more on the changing way of examination. Like you said, it's turning from theory based to application based. So you are prepared in studying in a certain pattern, which is
Yes,
theory based.
yes.
Now that it's application based, what is your mindset about, like, are you changing your thought process? Are you changing your preparation for exam in any way?
Absolutely. The application based questions teach you to be more in touch with the real world. And so if you're not aware of what is happening around you, you won't be able to deal with the questions. Especially in commerce, if you're not aware of what is going on in the business world and how the laws are changing and how, everything basically.
I think it updates your GK as well.
Yes, it does to a great extent. So one thing that I really think the council should also take into notice, and even the authors of the books should work on is to change how they write the books. So basically the questions are changing, the pattern is changing, but the books are the age old, the same, they are following the same pattern. So when we are studying in a very rote learning way, and the teachers have to do a lot of hard work to actually make it applicable to real life in a way, so that we can tackle the questions. So what I think, right now the books should be more advanced and more related to everything that is going on.
Right. So now that you're in 12th, you are about to go to your college. Do you have have you thought what you're going to do, or you just want to like explore college and like if you are clear about what you want to do, or if you are like blurry, is it affecting your boards in any way? Like, are you confused? Are you trying to figure it out and thinking which subject to put more focus on?
That is always there. There's just one subject.
You said you wanted to go into chartered accounting.
Yes,
so I would assume you are a little bit on the track.
Yes, I knew I wanted to do CA, and that is why I took commerce because I knew that I wanted to do something in this specific line. But there are a lot of people who are not sure about what they want to do, and that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was going into college. I had a vague idea. Right. So then is it sort of coming in your way, like, okay, I have to focus on this subject more, I have to focus on that, or is it like equal?
You have to focus on all of your subjects unless
but does the bias come from your subconscious in any way?
It does a lot because for competitive exams, especially exams like chartered accountancy, your board marks don't matter. It does not. It does not come into the play.
You have to sit for exams.
Yes, you have to and I think it's the same for NEET and JEE and CLAT, every exam. It's just this score that you're getting in that exam. The main thing that matters is your college. So if you're like for Xavier's, if you're doing BCom from Xavier's, you need to have maths. And you need to have a good score in maths because they are going to consider your accountancy and maths from whatever I know. So and then if you have these subjects, so you have to put a little more focus on those subjects so that you can actually secure your chances of getting into that college.
Right.
But for the competitive exams, I don't think as much.
You said that you already know that you want to go into charter. Have you started preparing for it?
I did, but it's actually not a pressure. I mean, people can do it after boards. You have a lot of time.
But then, is it in any way like, people who give NEET and JEE, for them, they do go through 11 and 12, but then they have to also put a lot of focus on, the classes, which prepare them for those exams, which does come in the way of their, board exams. So has it been the same case for you?
It has been to some level, but I think it's more difficult for them because the exams coincide for them. For me, it's a bit different because the foundation exam for the CA entrance, it takes place thrice a year.
Okay.
So we have the option of attempting it either in June or in September.
Okay, so you have time after
we have time after that. So there are a few subjects which are common with the ones that we have in class 12. And for me, law is a new subject altogether.
Okay.
So I have the option to actually put that in the back seat and then prepare for boards, and after my boards I can focus on that.
So you want to give equal importance to both?
Yes. Right now my focus is boards.
Okay. So what message do you want to give to your peers who are like preparing it with you?
The only message that I would like to give is please be confident. I mean, if anybody can do it, it's you. I am not someone who was very studious back in class 10 till now. I'm not.
But you topped that.
Yes,
you cannot forget that.
Yes.
It might seem very offensive coming from your side.
No, my friends are very well. So I take a lot of breaks, and I think topping and all of that, it just comes with it. I think my main focus back in class 10 was to get a good score, and still now it is that, to get a good score.
I think if you take it lightly, that's when it happens.
You have to take it lightly. I had no expectations. I had no idea I would top, and I told my friends. My friends were I had very supportive friends back in class 10. I still have very supportive friends, and they always believed in me. And they told me that we think you will, and I told that no, I may not top. But my focus back then also was just scoring well. Now also it is just scoring well. So if you're scoring well, you will obviously top. But I think
Yeah, I don't think scoring well itself means stopping.
yeah, but then it's fine.
I mean, yeah, just focus on scoring
Just focus
well,
on
yeah.
scoring well.
Yeah.
Just one thing that I really think for boards is important is to know which subjects you're going to keep for your best of 4, because your main percentage depends on that. So that is a tactic I learned in class 10. So I knew that I will not be keeping this certain subject in my best of 5. So I did not focus as much on that subject. As for the boards preparation, I'm telling this. So when I did that, I knew when I came back after giving my boards a paper, I sat down and I calculated my percentage, overall percentage. So I knew that I would be scoring around this, and it can increase or it can decrease, but you have to have that idea how much you're scoring based on you're checking answer keys, and you have that. So for best of 4 also, I think it's very important to have those subjects. So once you do that, you're already way ahead, and you know your preparation is on the right track.
Right.
So for boards, I think what class 10s should do, and even class 12s, is they need to know what subjects they're going to keep for the best of 4.
Right.
So if you put your 100% focus on those subjects, then automatically it just comes into play. But one thing is confidence, which I am blessed to have. I'm really confident because my parents have always been very supportive.
That really helps.
Yes, and I've had supportive peers.
And what about teachers?
Yes, teachers have always been very encouraging. They have a lot of expectations, which is sometimes very intense, but they are
Can
also
be overwhelming a
yes,
little bit.
yes. But they are also very supportive. Anytime I have a doubt, I can go to them, and they are always free to assist. And I think that's where the confidence comes from. But if you just believe,
I think your teachers motivating you play a very positive part.
very positive role. I think the one difference that makes from, like, I remember my economics was not a favorite subject in 11 because I did not have it in 9 and 10.
Right.
So I took economics as a new subject in 11, and it becomes very difficult if you do not have that background of economics in class 11. It feels very alien. So I took it, and my teacher, she played such an important role in motivating me to study that, and I love the subject now. And
That's
I
great.
think, you just have to believe.
Yeah, I think
in
same
yourself.
happened with, I never enjoyed civics, but then I went to this teacher who taught me Pol Science. I took up Pol Science in 11, 12, and I was like, oh my God. But then the way he taught and the person that he was as a teacher, that made Pol Science my favorite subject in 11th and 12th. So that does play a very important role.
It plays a very important role, and it actually also motivates you to study that subject.
Absolutely. I never thought I would be able to score so well, It's because of his motivation.
And I think expectations are really important, because you know that if you have that at,
That
the back,
this is the person that expects this from me because he believes in me.
Yes,
I cannot disappoint him.
I cannot disappoint that, and
Yeah.
that faith. The faith that person has in you,
Right.
and faith does move mountains. In metaphorically,
true,
it
yeah.
does. So if you have faith in yourself and in what you've prepared, I think you're set. You're all good to go.
Thank you, Didrika. Thank you for your time.